Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital and welcome to a new video here on Bitcoin. I would almost call this an emergency update. Of course, there is no emergency except for the fact that I did not expect Bitcoin to move into $104,000, which is what we did in the last 24 hours. And that's what we're going to be talking about. All right, what is going on? Can we actually rally up higher than this? The next target would be 105, but that's a relatively conservative target. Is this the start of an alt season? That I will talk about in a different video about altcoins specifically. In this video, we'll focus on Bitcoin. And there is a lot to talk about regarding the technicals, regarding the fundamentals, and just in general what's going on. Because one of the key reasons, look, yesterday when the price was, I think the price in the morning was right here at like 99,000, and that was expected. But also on Wednesday, I also said, well, I expect a deeper pullback before potentially going up there. Did not get that. Maybe that was already an indication of the strength of Bitcoin. And then yesterday we got barely any pullback, which I did expect. I expected us to pull back again into 98,000. But so far, Bitcoin has just been incredibly strong. And then yesterday evening, we got huge volume coming in, which you can see right here. And we haven't seen that volume since the start of May. So that's very relevant as well. So then, look... It's a pretty strange rally. Like when I go back to 2024, 2025, every time Bitcoin rallied like this, we actually saw some sort of retail come back as well, right? Some sort of retail interest. And so far, and that's a privilege of making YouTube videos about the crypto markets. I've always been able to see, all right, well, now people are actually getting interested. So now the market will get interesting. This time around was not the case, all right? We haven't seen major retail flow back into the markets. So then the big question is, why is Bitcoin moving up like this? I mean, we have seen US equities moving up as well. Even though, yeah, I mean, you can see that right here, US equities have moved up as well, but they're at the same levels as the 2nd of May. Bitcoin certainly is not. And honestly, I don't have the answers. However, we just have to judge, or at least we have to make an assumption, an analysis based on what we know. And what we know is that the volume right now for Bitcoin is high enough to say this is a real move. It's around $70 billion, which is pretty great. The open interest is high, but it's not as high as it was, for example, Thursday afternoon. It's not as high as it was the 2nd of May, so it seems like there's real spot buying going on as well. And then technically, yes, we have a lot of imbalances to the downsides, but when we have a very impulsive move, those imbalances do not always get filled. Which in this case is most likely also going to be true. Our main support level is 98,000. As long as we hold that, I would say we're still trending up. And we have been able to break out above this major high time frame resistance zone, or previously resistance zone, around 101,500. So then you have bullish equities. You have a high time frame breakout with volume above a high time frame, very, very relevant level. And then, I mean, we have to assume that there are some entities just buying up Bitcoin right now. Whether that's 100%, it's Michael Saylor, but it's also most likely other parties. Could be Tether, who knows? Could be other certain individuals. But therefore, I think we have to remain relatively bullish on the general markets, but also on Bitcoin. Now, like I said, there's two main areas which I'm looking at personally for a potential pullback. That's 101,000. If we're able to get a strong reaction from there, the price is still incredibly bullish and we can rally into 106, 107 easily. And the other one would be 98,000. Now, there's a bit of a risk because of the leverage and because of going into the end of the week here, that we see some de-risking. It's a possibility, but so far, given everything we've seen, I think it's best to assume we're going higher. All right, if you line everything up like we've done in this video, we're in a pretty strong uptrend here. There is a possibility, like if we, for example, if we zoom in here, if Bitcoin is not, like the volume this morning is actually quite low, right? So if Bitcoin is going to pull back into 101,000 and we get a very weak reaction there, or we do something like this, for example, like then we can drop down into 98,000 and 97,500. But I see no reason, at least not technically, why we would drop down below that. Now, obviously, if the fundamental picture changes, then the picture for Bitcoin changes as well. But for now, I'd say it's most likely that we will continue to be bullish. Either we'll stay on top of 101,000 if we get a strong reaction there, get into that next price target at 106,000. Or we drop down a little bit lower, but then the general trend, in my opinion, would also remain bullish. But that's what I think you need to know for right now, right? So if you do have any questions, anything, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.